Welcome to the Get Right with God podcast with Jamar Grimsley, where we're all a work in progress. Nobody has their life all the way together. We're all trying to get right with God.
Listen, your enemies have become enemies. Divine exposure, your reaction matters. What am I talking about? Thank you guys, first of all, for tuning into another episode of Get Right with God podcast. I'm your host, Jamar Grimsley, and I know that you guys can see the title there. It says that your enemies, they have become enemies. Divine exposure, your reaction matters. You guys, so what am I talking about? This word is a word to expose, right? Expose works of darkness and evil things that has been done behind someone's back, right? And the things that is being done behind your back, child of God, it's like heavy things. These are wicked, evil schemes of the enemy. And God is exposing the works of darkness, right? God is exposing the works of darkness. These people that have been doing this against you, child of God, I'm seeing a lot of spell work, like witchcraft spell work. You're seeing a lot of slandering of your name and a lot of like just making you look bad, speaking ill and evil about you to other people, just to make you look bad, just to tarnish your reputation, tarnish your name, just like evil things being done. And I'm seeing like sabotage and it's just like evil things are being done, child of God, against you, right? But this moment is God is exposing, divine exposure, meaning that God hand is in this. God is the one that is doing this. God is making this thing come out, right? You guys, a lot of times people do things against us, right? And they're in the background. So you really don't know what's happening. You really don't know what's happening, but you may be feeling, like I say, when I say spell work, I'm like some of you guys, right? Some of the symptoms that you may feel is like fog, cloudy in your mind and can't get your thoughts together and confusion. And some of you guys might get that back pain, that shoulder pain, that neck pain and all of those things. But those are the attacks of these people that are working against you, child of God. But God is blocking. It's not even doing what they are expecting it to do. And they're wondering why it's not really working the way that they are expecting this thing to work, right? It's not working the way that they're expecting this thing to work, right? But child of God, when God speaks of exposure, when the Bible talks about exposure, it's talking about exposing the darkness, the wickedness and dark, evil things that are happening behind the scenes. Because you guys, whenever there's darkness and it's still in darkness, once the light is shed on what's happening in the darkness, there's no more doubting and there's no know what's going on now. God is shedding light on what's going on in the background against your life, child of God, right? Yeah, child of God, just know that these are your enemies, child of God. These people that are working against you. And let me tell you, when I say that your enemies, right? The people that were working against you, it's at least two, but there's a group of people that has been working against you, doing something against you, right? But now they have become enemies. Now I'm not sure what happened between them and why they became enemies, but they have became enemies now. And so what's going to happen is, child of God, each one is going to try to come to you, right? And they're going to try to come to you trying to make themselves look like they telling you this for your own good, like as if they're helping you, but they're one of the ones that is working against you. One of the ones that come against you, they're going to try to come to you and out other people, but this is the same one that they were an ally with, or that they were working with, but they're going to try to come and make it like, I'm just telling you this, but just know that this is the person that's been doing this. No, but each one is trying to come to you and clear their name because now they are enemies. You know, when you are found out about something, or you want to try to make yourself look innocent, but the one that comes to you, child of God, trying to make themselves look innocent, that is the guilty one right there. And like I said, a few people, and as these people come to you, child of God, these are going to be the way that these things is going to be exposed to you, right? The people that are going to come to you are going to try to tell on other people that they were working with. Oh, was doing this against you. They was doing that against you. I'm just letting you know. It's going to come like that, child of God, right? So this is the exposure. This is the exposure. This is how God is going to reveal to you exactly what has been going on behind the scenes. And what these people are telling you that the other person did is the very effects of what's happening in your life, right? Some of you guys, you're being set back, right? Some of you guys, you're not able to get up and do things that you plan on doing, like sabotage, like opportunities come and there's something that's blocking you from doing it or stopping you from being able to get up and do it, like certain things, you guys, right? But it's all because of the spell work of these people that are working against you behind the scenes, child of God, right? And this message says that your reaction matters, child of God. It says that your reaction matters. And when it says your reaction matters, it means that when you find out these things, like God is watching your reaction. How are you going to react when you hear what's going on? When you hear about what's going on, are you going to flip out? Like, are you going to stay in Christian character? Are you hearing me? Right? How are you going to react when you hear these things? Right? But child of God, you got to keep your cool. You got to keep your cool, because when you find out you're not going to want to keep your cool, it's going to shock you, child of God. But not only shock you, but some of you feel like you're doing something. Like you just know this person is not trustworthy, or I just feel it in my spirit that something is this person, they ain't right, or I just can't put my finger on it. I don't have 100% proof, but God is about to give you 100% proof, right? Your enemies have become enemies, right? Divine exposure. Your reaction matters. And I have a scripture. This is the book of Luke 12. I'm going to read verse 2 and 3, right? It says, "For there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, nor hidden that will not be made known," right? So they're going to tell on themselves. They're going to make their own evil known, right? They're going to uncover what they already have covered themselves, right? It says, "Therefore, whatever you have spoken in the dark will be heard in the light," right? "And what you have spoken in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed on the housetops," right? So what was spoken in the dark, these are things that are going to become known to you, child of God. These are things that are going to become known to you. But again, this is God's doing, child of God. This is how God is confirming to you that this is what's happening. This is what's happening. But you have to know that God has been protecting you from this the whole time, child of God. And God is in control of all of this, right? It's like God allows these things, you guys, but one of God's most important parts of allowing these things, right, is to develop the character of the Christian. So now this is like a test for you as well, child of God, meaning like, because he said, like, how are you going to react? It says that your reaction matters in this. Your reaction matters in this, right? Your reaction matters in this. If you don't remember anything else from this message, your reaction matters in this, child of God, right? But just know that these questions that you've been having and these things that you've been wondering, they're going to spill the beans on each other. Everybody's going to spill the beans on each other because your enemies have now become your enemies, right? And now God is divinely exposing this. This is really about to come to the light, and it's going to shock you guys, but it's going to be also kind of a relief because you now have clarity, or you now have some type of, like you have light shed on it now. There's no more unsurety of what's happening. But child of God, this is the end of one season. You are going into a new one, child of God, right? But before you can go into this new one, you have to see who the snakes were in your life. Who am I talking to, right? You got to see who the snakes were in your life. But again, child of God, you don't want to hinder yourself, because the part of your reaction matters. That's there for a reason as well. It says that your enemies, right, that they have become enemies. Divine exposure, right? God is making this known to you. And then the last part says that your reaction matters. Your reaction matters, right? Your reaction matters. All right. Child of God, just know that very, very soon now, very, 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 I'm talking about very soon, because you are on the cusp of coming to your next level. Like you're coming into something and you can feel it. Many of you guys can already feel that I'm about to walk into something, but this last thing has to be like what's going to close out in order for that next thing. You have to get the knowledge of this, because some of you guys, the people are still in your lives actively and you don't even know it, right? So again, you guys, once this is closed out, then you can move forward. But this thing has to be exposed to you first. You see what I'm saying? And guys, this is a good word. It's a good word. Sometimes a painful word, but still a good word. But a word that God is revealing to you, right? Those things that have been taking place behind the scenes that you just are not aware of, you guys. And it's kind of like when things go on behind the scenes, we really don't know. You really don't know, but God sees what's happening, and you can't be at 2 places or 3 places or 4 places or wherever people talking. You can only be one place, right? So you don't know what this person is saying. You don't know what that person is saying. Like people could be talking like you don't know, but God knows it all. But there comes a time of exposure. Oh yes, there come a time when things that are kept in dark, oh yes, they come to the light. And that's why the Bible talk about the darkness can't comprehend light, right? And it's like, I don't understand exposure. Like the darkness don't understand light because light exposes the darkness. So when it's darkness, darkness can no longer be darkness because light is exposing the darkness, right? All right, child of God, just know that this word is something that's about to happen because you guys, again, like I said, you guys feel that shift, like you feel something is, but this thing right here that's about to be exposed to you is what needs to be done before you move into the next season. Because like I say, a lot of you guys still got these people right near you and right next to you and you don't even know it. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it has to be some cutting off. Got to be cutting off. But if you don't know who to cut off because people are friendly or you may not think, you see what I'm saying? Like, so this has to be exposed to you, child of God. But yeah, just know that your enemies, they have become enemies, meaning they are no longer allies. They're no longer working together. They are now against each other, right? And divine exposure, meaning God is going to expose this, right? This is God's doing, right? But remember this, child of God. The last part says that your reaction matters. Your reaction matters. All right, child of God. You know, just this is very soon. This is going to happen, child of God. This is very soon that this is going to happen. Just keep your cool. Keep your cool. Keep your cool. All right. Be blessed.
Right with God. Come and do it now. Under the cross of Jesus, I lay my burden down. It was on that old cross